asked you about the flyers you take issue with. You take issue that y'all didn't conspire to do that, you and Russell?
Yes.
Take issue with that? Take issue with that. Okay.
I can tell you that Russell Lafitte never conspired with me to do anything.
Based on those words from Alec Murdaugh, Russell Lafitte is asking for a new trial in federal court.
Wow.
So will that request be granted?
How we doing, guys? Happy Saturday. True Crime King back. Got my Orioles jersey on again. Right? Okay. So, Alex Murdaugh's partner in crime, Robert, as we just heard, is seeking a new trial now because of what Alex just said, right? So, let's take a look, see what Lone Crime says about it, and I'm going to react to it. You know what to do. Hit the 3 main things. I don't need to say them all. Here we go.
I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime Sidebar Podcast.
Anjanette Levy, she's good, isn't she? She's on top of things.
The name Russell Lafitte came up a lot during Alec Murdaugh's double murder trial, especially when it came to discussing those financial crimes that Alec Murdaugh was accused of and is still accused of. Lafitte is a friend of Alec Murdaugh and the former CEO of Palmetto State Bank. Lafitte was convicted last year at a trial in federal court of bank fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy.
So we got another sleazeball, right? Another clown using his position, high up in the bank to just, help himself and his friends out, like Murdaugh, however you want to say it. Some people say Murdaugh, and some people say Murdaugh, right? I don't get it, but I don't know how you would say Murdaugh. There's no CK, I guess for the CH, I don't know.
Lafitte claims Alec Murdaugh's testimony absolves him of any wrongdoing, and he says because of those words, he deserves a new trial. Joining me to discuss Russell Lafitte's request for a new trial and Alec Murdaugh's testimony at his murder trial is Chris Adams. He's a defense attorney in South Carolina and also a past president of the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. Chris, welcome to Sidebar.
Thank you, Anjanette. Thanks for having me.
So, Chris, we see that the judge in Russell Lafitte's case has already denied one motion for a new trial. I'm not sure this judge is willing to grant another motion for a new trial based on the word of Alec Murdaugh. So what's your take on this motion for a new trial, first off?
Well, I've appeared in front of Judge Gergel a lot, and he is a very smart, very hardworking judge, and he will do whatever the law dictates. So he is...
Well, that's his job as a judge, right?
He will not have figured out what the answer is before he does the research. This is a terrific motion by Mark Moore on behalf of Mr. Lafitte.
Sorry, I'm pausing. Dan, it looks like they spare no expense to keep it nice and cool in the courtroom. 66, right? I guess they're not worried about their cooling and heating bill, right? Because it's coming from the taxpayers. Sorry, off topic.
He's raised the issue of a new trial based on newly discovered evidence, based on the sworn testimony of Murdaugh. And Murdaugh says in his sworn testimony, which they transcribed from the TV streaming, that he did the financial crimes himself, that Russell Lafitte was not a part of it, that they didn't talk about it, and that he basically used Russell Lafitte. And if that were the case, Lafitte's argument, his lawyer's argument, is that would negate the mental state element of willfulness for each of the crimes he was convicted of, and therefore he ought to receive a new trial. And
yeah, I mean, I guess he's right. If Alex said he did it by himself and didn't have any help, right? But I think he had to have some kind of help from this Robert guy, right? I mean, he's the one that works at the bank, right? So Alex couldn't have done it without his help, right? I mean, it might make him look a little better, but I still think he's going to be convicted on some of his crimes.
And either have a dismissal or have the chance to call Murdaugh to be a witness.
I think Alec Murdaugh probably would have some credibility problems, but he is fessing up, or at least did in the murder trial.
Yeah, that's a good point. How can you even take anything Alec Murdaugh says as fact, right? He lies about everything. So whatever he says, I mean, you don't know if he's telling you the truth or not, right?
Chew stealing money from clients. He said he did things that were wrong. And he said Russell Lafitte, he didn't conspire with him. So does Alec Murdaugh's word mean anything when it comes to getting a new trial? Because I'm surprised that Russell Lafitte's attorneys didn't call Alec Murdaugh if he was going to say this at his murder trial. Why wouldn't he say it at the federal trial last year?
Well, Russell Lafitte was charged in the federal system with the banking crimes and the fraud crimes. His trial went faster, and they went to trial first before Murdaugh was tried. So if you're Mr. Murdaugh's lawyers, there's no way in the world you would let him go testify in Russell Lafitte's trial and subject him to cross-examination as your trial is.
Yeah, we saw how that went, right? When Alex got on the stand. Total train wreck.
For murders are coming up. So effectively, Mr. Lafitte and his legal team would have had no opportunity to call Mr. Murdaugh prior to his murder trial. Now he's been tried and convicted. He made very favorable statements for Mr. Lafitte, and I can only imagine the trial team and new counsel for Mr. Lafitte are wondering, boy, what if we'd had Murdaugh? We could have, either had all charges dismissed or won acquittals for our client.
Let's say, hypothetically speaking, that the new trial motion is granted and Russell Lafitte gets a new trial. Do you, as Alec Murdaugh's attorneys, allow him to get up there on the stand and testify to this, saying, I did it all? And then now you're in the federal venue, and he possibly then is at risk of getting charged federally for these crimes.
Well, that is one of the issues that I think will have to be dealt with in the motion for new trial. Is Mr. Murdaugh going to be available as a witness or not? I don't think it would be adequate to bring in the transcript from the state court hearing. The federal prosecutors are never going to agree to that.
And they also are exhuming Shane Smith's body to look at it, because now they, with all these other people dying, right? I mean, if Buster Murdaugh was gay, who knows? Alex could have killed Steve to hide that. I mean, I don't know. Buster could have done it too, but Buster looks kind of like a pussy to me, so I don't know.
They're going to say they weren't allowed the opportunity to cross-examine Mr. Murdaugh as it relates to Lafitte. So they'll argue that the cross-examination by Creighton Waters and the South Carolina Attorney General's team weren't dealing with the issues that the federal prosecutors would have dealt with for Lafitte. So they wouldn't be provided the opportunity for a full and fair cross-examination. So it'd be interesting to see if Murdaugh is willing to be a witness in a federal proceeding to assist his longtime friend, I guess, a banker, Russell Lafitte.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Alex is going to think, well, what can I get out of this? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Unless he really wants to try and help this guy, right? Because they were apparently friends. And Alex has nothing to lose. I mean, no matter what, he's in jail for the rest of his life. So, we'll see, right?
I think he would have to make that commitment for this motion to really get traction.
What do you see happening with this motion? Because obviously the defense team for Russell Lafitte filed this motion for a new trial. The prosecution, the government, will have a chance to respond to it. Then there may be some other type of I'm telling you I did that. So yes, I did these things.
violate the various statutes he was convicted of.
And correct
Sorry,
me if I'm wrong,
skipped
Chris.
ahead a
You know,
little
my
bit.
reading of this was Alec Murdaugh got on the stand and said, yes, I did these things related to the financial crimes, but I did that. I'm telling you, I did that. So you can believe me. I have credibility. I didn't kill my wife and son. So wasn't that part of the calculation there?
I think it was. I mean, I think when he got up, he knew he was going to have to eat the 99 financial crimes and say, I'm a fraudster. I steal, but I don't murder.
I'm a clown, you know.
I don't think there was any way to run from the financial crimes, but he did not have to go a step further. And really, it wasn't the key part of his testimony about whether he did it with Lafitte or whether he was tricking Lafitte. And he indicated that he did it himself, and very clearly, reading the transcript more clearly than I realized, as he kept saying that I committed the frauds, I did this. Russell Lafitte did not know. Russell wasn't part of it. We never sat down and discussed it.
What do you guys think? Do you think the banker knew about all this? Do you think he's just an innocent banker that was dealing with Alex Murdaugh for all these years and knew nothing shady was going on? I'm gonna have a tough time believing that. And if I had to bet my money on it, I would bet that he is a sleazeball just like Alex. But I don't know. If you agree with me, hit the like button. If you don't, put your comments below, and I will be glad to take a look at them. But that's basically all they're saying in this video. So until next time, guys, True Crime King out.